The premium buyer effect, how to sell out your one-to-one coaching spaces. I am so freaking excited for this because when someone comes into your one-to-one, they're not just coming to learn from you or get your insight or your perspective or the shift that they can even get from working with you. They are coming in and you guys are forming this partnership together, this co-creation. It's when they come in with their fullness and you come with your fullness and something else gets co-created in that space. In coaching, we often talk about coaching is actually a 200% partnership. It's not just 100%, it's when the coach brings 100% and the person getting coached brings 100%. And when those 200% meet, there is a magic that is created. There is an intention set the second that you offer your one-to-one coaching and the second someone says yes to it. There is an energy exchange that happens, but because of that, you also have to be really intentional about who gets access to your one-to-one spaces, who gets access to your energy, not just because they could drain your energy because they can. You say yes to someone who isn't the right fit and that could absolutely drain your energy, but also if that person starts to make you doubt yourself, make you doubt your own abilities, make you doubt your own confidence, that is going to leach into every area of your business, okay? This is why it is as important to say no to the right people, which is no to the right people that's to say no to, so no to the wrong people, for your one-to-one, just as much as it is to say yes to the people who are right for your one-to-one. And I want you to really know that and to really feel that and to really understand that your one-to-one is not for everyone and you shouldn't sell it like that. When you're selling a program, you're selling a process, a framework, a teaching, you sell it in a way where it's like, here's the results and come and change your life. Like, let's go. With your one-to-one, it's not that, because not everybody should be able to tap into your one-to-one. It is, if you think about it, it's like inviting someone to a party, right? Say it's like a birthday party and you will invite lots of people, your second cousin, and like lots of people get invitations. Whereas if you're having a private family dinner, you only invite the people that you actually want at your private family dinner. Okay, so it's a very, very different experience and it's very, very curated for the right person. So I want us to firstly just get our mindset around that. And I want you to really actually think about who is your one-to-one space for and who is it not for. And make sure that in your marketing, you're saying who it's not for just as much as you're saying who it is for. Because what can sometimes happen if you keep on attracting everybody into your one-to-one and accepting everybody into your one-to-one, then they come in with the same questions that you feel like you've been answering for years and years, and it gets to the point and you're like, I can't talk about this anymore. There's no depth to it. You don't feel like your brain is actually getting utilized. You feel like you're being used rather than expanded by your clients. And that is when the resentment creeps in, and that is when you stop showing up in your full power, and that's just going to leak into every single area of your business. Okay, so firstly, really, really get clarity of who is your one-to-one for and who's it not for. Your one-to-one is going to be your most profitable offer. It should be. It's your highest ticket space. And again, it should be. Your one-to-one time should be so valued because it is that higher intimacy. It's that closer intimacy. It's your closer proximity. And what often happens is your one-to-one clients will get the highest transformation, the highest results. Now, this isn't because you keep some secrets for your one-to-one, right? Like, I aren't keeping any secrets from you guys that I'm teaching to my one-to-one clients. I'm not like, oh, I can't actually teach everybody the strategies to scale their business because I am only reserving them for my one-to-one. That is not what goes on. You guys get the best of me for that container, regardless of what the offer container is. However, There's something that happens different when you get in close proximity with me. Now, what happens is I get to know you better. I get to know you on a deeper level. I see your patterns. I see when you're falling into your BS. I know your human design. I know your partner's name. I know your pet's name. I know your kids' names. And I have got a really, really good BS radar. So when you're falling back into old patterns, old stories, old beliefs, I'm able to call it out a lot quicker because I know you, right? And what also happens in one-to-one or any kind of like long-term mentorship spaces is there's room to breathe. Often in a program, when your clients join a program, they are joining to get this result, and it's only there for a certain period of time. So it's like, I need to get X result in X period of time, let's go. Whereas in one-to-one, it's a process, because the thing is, we know that if you're constantly trying to grow your business and income, for example, right, month to month to month, you're only ever giving yourself 30 days to grow. And if you don't meet that growth in those 30 days, what happens is when it comes to the next month, you're having to start from zero again. And it's always this like start from zero, like hustle, push, force, start from zero, because you're not actually giving yourself space to breathe, to grow. This is why I love close proximity, high level mentorship spaces, because, and this isn't just business, this is in any area of coaching, because it gives people an opportunity, it gives your clients an opportunity to dig deeper. There's no push, there's no force, there's no hustle. This is longer term thinking. And with that longer term thinking, there is room to actually have ideas come through. There's rooms to test, to pivot, to refine. Whereas what can sometimes happen in other spaces is it's this like, this needs to happen now, push, force. And there's a time and space for that. My one-to-one clients love getting access to my programs just like this, because it's going to remind them of something we've spoken about, or they're able to learn all the information, and then we personalize it in one-to-one. We go deeper in one-to-one. But as I said, because you know your clients more when you work in a one-to-one capacity, you work with them longer, there's more room to breathe, there's more space, there's no rush, but there is that focus on the long term. What tends to happen is they get quicker results because of that, right? And sometimes that can even sound a little bit like counterintuitive. It's like, oh, they're going slower but they're getting results quicker, and it's because they're building for longevity. They're not hustling their way to every single goal and every single result. So that's actually what speeds up the process, is often going slower, being a little bit more methodical, getting someone who actually understands you, the way that you operate. And so then it makes sense if your clients are getting that higher result and it's taking more of your time, it's taking more of your energy. And I don't just mean the energy of the actual call or Voxer or Telegram. When you're one-to-ones buy like you, right? So not buy you, but buy into your container, buy into your capacity, your energy. Remember that they're buying into your energy, your capacity. So your one-to-ones need you to be energized. They need you to have capacity to support them. So they're not just paying for the time when you're actually coaching them. They're not just paying for all the learnings that you've done, all the lessons that you've learned, all the certifications, all your own investments. They're paying to have access to your energy that is only your energy, because you've got your own space to grow, to breathe. You have got your own capacity. So I want you to remember, when it comes to like pricing your one-to-one, for example, you're not just pricing per what they get access to. You're also not just pricing based on the results they could get. You're pricing in a way that allows you to live your best life, that will re-energize you and allow you to continue to give the best to your clients. Let that one land. Your clients don't want to work with someone who's frazzled and burnt out. They want to work with someone who is in their leadership and can hold them. So when it comes to thinking about how many one-to-one clients are you going to take on, don't just think about how many can you fit in your calendar. Think about your capacity. And then look at when you're pricing based on what feels exciting to you, what feels expansive, what allows you to live your best life, because that is going to filter back through to your clients. And then also what makes sense based on the result that you help your client get. When it comes to your one-to-one, you don't need lots of sales. You just need a few aligned buyers. Most people will not be the right fit for your one-to-one. They're not meant to be. You're not meant to be online signing one-to-one clients every single day. You would burn out if that was the case. Your one-to-one, remember we covered this in the first call, is only going to be for a tiny percentage of your audience. But for the right people, it will be an easy yes, and you guys will create this partnership together that is going to get them results that will last their lifetime. Most coaches undersell their one-to-one because they get stuck overthinking it. They get stuck in their head, I couldn't charge that much, nobody will pay that, why would anybody see me as the authority, yada, 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 yada. Right? Rather than stepping into their power, looking at their capacity, their leadership, who they actually want to work with, and only speaking to those people, only calling those people forward. The biggest mistakes that tend to stop one-to-one sales coming through is, number one, is making it too vague or too general. Some people are just selling close proximity as close proximity. Well, my one-to-one is 10k per month because I decided it's 10k per month and that's how much it costs to work with me. You get my close proximity. Cool, what does close proximity even mean? I don't know about you, but I have never woke up in the morning and been like, I really wish I could work close proximity with someone today. Right? So you need to think about and be able to articulate, what does that close proximity allow them to get? What does working one-to-one with you allow them to get? What does that look like? What does their life look like during working one-to-one with you? And what does the results look like after working one-to-one with you? You need to show what actually happens inside your one-to-one together. It's not just like, we have 3 one-to-one calls per month. It's like, on our first call together, we are going to dive deep into who you are as a person, your values, your human design. We are going to look at X, Y, and Z. We're going to look at the gaps, because I know that one strategic shift into alignment in your life and business is going to be the thing that's going to 100x your business in the next year. We are going to X, Y, and Z, right? We're going to I want you to start really painting the picture of what it is that you do with your clients and what results happen because of that. What does life look like afterwards because of the work that you do together? Another mistake is overloading content and underloading conviction. So what I mean by this is just churning out another piece of content and it's like, here's why you should work one-to-one with me. Here's my life, now pay to work one-to-one with me. Here's my client results, so pay to work one-to-one with me. Yada, yada, yada. Here's the 3 things that's stopping you from results. Come and work one-to-one with me. Right? There's nothing wrong with any of that content. I'm not saying anything about content specifically like with those examples, but I am saying that if you're just churning out content to churn out content and then sticking on a kind of like PS, come and work with us, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. People are bombarded with this stuff all the time. If you're getting AI to write all your content and you're not actually using your voice in amongst that as well, if you are, and hey, I'm all for AI. Guys, I teach you in Coded how to get your own bot, right? But if you're relying on that, when it comes to writing your one-to-one content, if you look at it as a chore and you're just like, how can I get this done and out the way? What can I say to make someone buy? Like what? What can you say to make someone buy? Your audience does not owe you a sale. Like with love, your audience does not owe you a sale. If you're relying on a one-to-one sale coming in this month because you need to make your numbers, that's on you, not your audience. Your one-to-one client is going to come and work with you because they're ready to work with you one-to-one, not because you decided that you need that to run your business. Okay, you have to get out of your own way. You have to get excited about it again. It's less about how much can I post to make the sale, and it's more about remember who you are. Remember who you're here to serve, what you're here to do in this world, who you're here to lead. How have you changed your own life? How have you embodied these results for yourself? And powerfully inviting your audience to rise. Remember, this isn't a free for all. This is the right person. Imagine you were single and you were dating. And you're just like, everybody come along. Anybody who can buy me a dinner gets to date me. I don't really think that's the vibe. Instead, you are intentional about who you let in your life. You're intentional about who you let into your energy. You're intentional about who you date, who you kiss, all of that is intentional. Your one-to-one is the same. It should be intentional. You should be clear in who you want to work with, because not only do you have standards, but when you work with people who have those same standards, that is when they get the best results. Always. Your clients will get the best results when you're clear about who you work with best and call those people forward. Okay? Next one is waiting for someone to ask instead of selling it. The opposite of just churning out too much content is never actually speaking about it. Now, there is a beautiful thing that tends to happen with one-to-one, and that is that when it comes to your one-to-one, a lot of clients, when they know you've got one-to-one, will upgrade into your world because they've experienced your work elsewhere, okay? And this is where you can actually look at upselling people in your world from other programs into one-to-one. They've already had an experience of what it's like to work with you, so that is the next obvious step for them. But you actually have to still put out the invitation. You have to tell people that you're actively taking on one-to-one clients. You still have to open up the invitation and be like, here, this is how we can work together. And like I said on the last call, depending on where audience is cold, warm or hot, will determine how you're going to sell. If you guys have done sold out on stories with me, I know most of you have, there's a sales sequence in there where I teach you how to bring in more people into your one-to-one if you've got a cold audience. Okay, so this does involve giving more value, actually having a call with someone, showing them what it would be like to work together. That is very different than if you've got a hot audience and a slot opens up and you're like, I've got one slot, this is for this type of person, who's ready, let's go, and they buy right away. Okay, so you really need to be aware of how cold, warm or hot your audience is, and that's going to affect how long you speak about it for, how much details that you give. Okay, but make sure you are selling it in a way that is exciting for you but also activates people to come and buy. And when you're looking at one-to-one, maybe you actually want to go look at your current clients. You can reach out to people inside mastermind spaces, inside group offers, and you can let them know if you have a VIP upgrade for one-to-one. Okay, there's people in your audience and people who are actually already working with you who are craving that closer proximity, who are craving that higher level support, but they don't even know that you offer one-to-one. Okay, so make sure you're actually asking people for the sale and leading people to the sale as well. So when it comes to defining the value of your one-to-one, and this is really looking at the core messaging and the showcasing the main reason why people are going to want to work with you in that one-to-one capacity. I want you to have a think of and start to map out what's the identity shift that your client walks away with. So who do they become after working with you one-to-one? Okay, because that's what people want. People want to become the next level version of themselves, and you can speak to that. Why is this more powerful than a group or a course? You want to be able to back your courses and your group offers and your one-to-one. And it's not that one-to-one's the best and everything else is a cheap version of one-to-one. That is the worst way you can market in your business. Okay, so for example as well, people don't join my mastermind spaces because they're a cheap version of one-to-one. That would be the wrong fit. It would be the wrong fit for them, and it would be the wrong fit for me, because they would then just want to use me as a one-to-one coach without paying me like a one-to-one. That would lead to burnout on my part and resentment. So you want to look at each thing that you do in your business, each offer should have an intention, should have a reason. Okay, so your one-to-one will have its own intention. And it's not just because it's the best way to work with me. That's not what it is, because as I said before, not everybody is right for your one-to-one. But the person who it is right for, why is it right for them? Why should they be working with you one-to-one rather than in one of your group programs? And when you dive into your ideal client, you'll be able to know this. Okay, is it because they've actually already learned all the information? They've learned all the information, but now they want to personalize it for them. Is it because they prefer a private space? Is it because they are craving to go deep with someone? They're craving to be seen and activated at a deeper level. Like, why is your one-to-one the space for them right now where they are on their journey, rather than just a course or a program, without making your course or programs wrong? Right? It's like, can you know that your courses and your programs are perfect exactly as they are, and they do exactly what they're meant to for your ideal clients for those spaces, and your one-to-one is the perfect place for the perfect client for that space? I want you to get clarity on, how does working with you one-to-one collapse time? How does it make them money? Or how does it expand the capacity that they've got? Or how does it get them the love of their life? If you're a relationship coach, right? Like, what is it? What is it that is the result that they want to get? And how does working with you one-to-one help them get that result? Because you will have a unique way of doing things, and especially for your one-to-one, and it is different. The way that you work with someone in one-to-one will be different from the way someone else works one-to-one. And you want to be able to pull that out. You want to be able to showcase that in your messaging and in your marketing, because then that is why someone is going to hire you when they've already tried everything that they've tried before. When your way is different, when you're able to activate something different in them, when you're able to see things from a different angle and help them move through that, that is when your one-to-one becomes the most obvious choice. Because they've already done all the stuff before, they've already learned all the information, but one-to-one is when they're actually going to get that transformation because X, Y, and Z, right? What you bring to the table. Now, we want to look at messaging that converts. So messaging that converts when it comes to your one-to-one is selling the outcome, not the hours. Why should someone work one-to-one with you? One-to-one, your highest ticket package, right? Your highest offer. Why is that worth the price that you're charging? What is the result? What is the outcome? And make sure you're speaking to that. Okay? An example of this, one of my mastermind clients joined, had a one-to-one with me. We mapped out a strategy, which was essentially we got rid of an offer she had, and we created a new offer based on a gap that I seen, and we created a behind the scenes soft launch to her current audience. That strategy, she done it for over 2 days, which was 48 hours. It brought her in an extra 28k cash. So that one-to-one that we had together brought her in an extra $28,000 cash. That's what happens when I work one-to-one with you. I am able to see the gaps in your business. I am able to reflect back where you have been working out of alignment with the way that you desire to work and the way that you're designed to work. I'm able to see where you're underpricing, overpricing, gaps in your business, gaps in your marketing. And I'm able to help reflect that to you so that you can collapse time around your results. That is a real result that happened with my client. That is an outcome that many of my audience desire, right? How can I make more money with more ease in my business? Can you see it's not So then when someone is joining me one-to-one, I'm not just like, get a one-to-one with me. Okay? Next point, you want to speak to the before and after. People want to feel seen and heard. It's not about painting the picture that they're struggling. Most of your one-to-one clients aren't struggling. The people who will pay you for your highest ticket spaces don't really resonate with that. But there is a point where they're just done with where they currently are. So that is still, it's still relating to where they are and what they're done with. But that doesn't mean to say it's like, you're so tired of this. You hate this about X, Y. Maybe they don't. Maybe they love their life, but there's more. Maybe they're smashing it in business. They're signing clients every single day. They're making good income. But there's a next level. They know that they're meant to have all of that. Like, they're meant to go from showing up every day and bringing in money in their business to bringing in that same amount of money passively while using their free time that they've just freed up to go speak on stages or write books or travel the world. Okay, so often when it's your one-to-one, the before and after is good to better, like good to great or great to insane. When you're selling one-to-one, which is very different to normally if you're selling like a group program or a course, that tends to be pain points, so the pain of where you are now to get in the result. When you're selling one-to-one, it tends to be you're already selling to the ones who are making progress, but they want to do it faster, they want to do it bigger, they want to do it with more ease or more alignment. They're ready for that now. It's an activation, and the people who work one-to-one are already action takers. They're already ready to invest. They don't need to be convinced. And you want to use specific examples. Break down client wins, transformation snapshots, but again, tell the story. It's not just, oh, my client had a 10K month. Work with me and you too can have a 10K month. Oh, my client done this, you too can do this. It's like, this client came to me and this is what they were experiencing. They had already tried X, Y, and Z. When they came to me, this is what their life, this is what their business, this is what their health, for example, looked like. Through our work together, we got them to here feeling like X, Y, and Z, and now this is what they're moving into. Okay, so when you're pulling in like your client wins and transformations, you want to pull out the story. Storytelling sells. And you want to make sure you're framing your one-to-one as that exclusive solution, not a generic offer. This is what I was saying about it's not for everybody, it is for the one. It is personalized support. It is a partnership. People aren't just buying, give me the information. They're buying the activation, the capacity, the leadership, the partnership. Make sure you're getting that across. Now, you want to think about, where are your ideal clients just now? Your ideal clients for one-to-one need to be able to see you, but they are not necessarily jumping into free masterclasses. They might be, but your highest ticket buyers don't tend to hang about on social media every single day. They don't tend to sign up for free masterclass after free masterclass after free masterclass because they're already busy going and living their life. They're already busy taking action. Again, this is your highest ticket investment. So you need to think about the level of person who buys this is already going out there and living their life. And when you understand that, you understand then it's not as easy to get noticed by one-to-ones because they're not spending as much time glued to their screens waiting for you to post. You want to speak to the high standard buyers who are already investing. Okay, you get their attention by speaking directly to them. It's like you're already the type of person who invests in yourself. You know the value of working one-to-one. You know the value of this work. You have seen my client wins. You have seen this and you are ready for this. Okay, it's like posting content that showcases that you are the only logical choice for them because you show up in your leadership of that. Like when I speak to you guys, I speak to you guys like you're the massive action takers that you are. I don't convince you to invest in yourself because, as I said before in the last call, that is the bare minimum that you should be doing for your growth in your business. If someone needs convinced to do the work, to show up online and share their work, to invest in themselves, that is literally the bare minimum of running a business, and they would not be the right fit for my one-to-one or close proximity. Instead, I actually want to work with the ones who they're already overworking. They're doing too much, they're overgiving, they're constantly on, because that person, I can help do less. I can help them refine what they're already doing and make it better and more profitable. When I'm speaking to my one-to-one clients, I'm not convincing them to show up. I'm usually convincing them to do a little bit less. So I'm going to speak to them like I get it, because I do get it. I've been where they are. And I'm going to position me and my work as the only logical choice, because for my dream clients, I am the only logical choice. That's what you have to understand, is you are the best person for your ideal clients, for where they are right now and you are right now, and what you can provide and your life experience and your lens and way of looking at things. You are the one for your ideal clients. So you start showing up like that. Your energy will sell your one-to-one before your words will. Your energy. You need to stop waiting to be picked, and you lead the sale. If you are soft, if you are passive and asking for the sale, that is not giving leadership vibes. That is giving optional vibes. Okay, but then on the other hand, you're also not desperate. You're not like, pick me, please. You're just showing up with facts. This is what happens in our one-to-one. You are ready for one-to-one if you've been experiencing X, Y, and Z, and you want to be here, and here. You're this type of person, and that is how I know you're going to get results when we work together. Inside one-to-one, this is what's going to happen. Here's how to buy. Lead with confidence. Okay, your confidence, your certainty. Again, you can't show up and sell one-to-one like this is what's going to pay your bills this month, because that is making it about you, not them. You need to be as confident, comfortable, and as excited to say no to someone as you are to say yes. Let that one land, because most people are excited when they get the sale, but not about holding a standard and integrity for their one-to-one spaces. But it's holding that standard and integrity that will get you the sale with the right clients. You have got people in your audience right now who are already watching. Show up like it. You have to be certain. It's like one space for the one who's ready to get this kind of result. This isn't for everyone, but it is for you if you're this kind of person. Okay, call them forward. Call them to rise. Your work changes lives. Why would you not show up and share that? It is your responsibility to back yourself before anybody else does. You need to pick yourself before anybody else will pick you. Now, when it comes to the sales flow of your one-to-one, okay, you can share. It's like spots are now open. I have opened up X amount of spaces to work with me one-to-one. And then you can share what is available to them, how that looks like working with you. And where I've got there, urgency, we want to add urgency into sales, otherwise people stay on the fence. If you're always an option, then people will sit on the fence and keep you there as an option. But most people see and hear urgency and just think like discounts, like things like that, bonuses. Your one-to-one isn't going to jump in because you've got a discount on. Your one-to-one clients, like your long-term, the people that pay you the highest ticket, is not going to jump in because there's a bonus going to disappear. That doesn't matter to them. But there will be a reason, or there should be a reason why now is the time to join. It could be the time of year. It could be just because they're so freaking done with sitting where they are, watching other people get results that they know they're capable of. Okay, so when I say urgency, I'm not saying, like, if you have got bonuses, you can articulate them. Like, amazing. Like, I love a bonus. I love a discount. I love a VIP thing. I think these things are fun, but they're not the reason why high ticket buyers will buy or not. The urgency should be because of a specific reason that is relevant to them and their timing. And then you get them to apply, or you get them to DM, or you might just have a checkout link. I am not here to say it's right or wrong. Maybe they jump on a sales call with you. It doesn't matter the way that you get them to buy. People will buy the way that you want people to buy from you. So for example, with me, I sell through the DMs when it comes to one-to-one. I do not have a sales page for one-to-one. I don't have a sales page because there is no way I am sending someone a sales page on working with me one-to-one. I would rather chat with someone and I know whether it is a yes or a no for working one-to-one together. And then we just invoice them, they pay, and then we get the container started. Okay, so I don't have a sales page. That's not to say sales pages are wrong, but that's because I hold such a high integrity for my one-to-one that I don't want someone deciding that I'm the one-to-one coach for them based on a sales page. I want them to make that decision based on my energy, based on my activation, based on the conversation we have together in DMs. And again, like with sales calls, they're not right or wrong, but I don't do sales calls in my business. I can tell in a few back and forward DMs whether someone is right or wrong for working close proximity with me. It's why I don't do application forms either. I have tested them, but for me, I can't tell someone's energy in an application form. I get that in DMs. A couple of voice notes back and forward, and I know exactly if that person is going to be a good fit to work with me or not. Okay, but whatever way you choose, just make it easy. Make it simple, and make sure you actually tell them how they can buy from you. As I said, you create urgency through the energy of now, through the energy of desiring the results, through the energy of them being done with where they are and ready to step into their next level. Not discounts, not bonuses. And remember that repetition creates revenue. Repetition creates revenue. Don't just sell your one-to-one for 1 day or even 2 days or 3 days and then be like, nobody bought, woe is me, nobody's going to buy. You can't assume that they saw it the first time. Again, your one-to-ones are the least likely to be watching your content. You want to sell it on a regular basis. You want to anchor in the value regularly. Position your one-to-one like it's the demand space that it is. I have no spaces to work with me one-to-one. I am fully booked out until 2026. You cannot work with me one-to-one, yet I mention it a lot. Why? Because it is still part of my work and it still builds brand awareness around that offer. There is a reason why I've got a waitlist to work with me one-to-one, because I'm always creating brand awareness even though I couldn't even take on a one-to-one client right now. Are you regularly mentioning working with you one-to-one? Does your audience even know how much it would cost to work with you one-to-one? Okay, you want to always be seeding this in, sharing your one-to-one client wins, sharing how they can best work with you, what kind of results can they expect. Now, your next step with this is I want you to map out your next, let's say 5 days of one-to-one sales content, okay? Because this is a week. You might want to sell it for longer, maybe a week's long enough. As I said, it all actually depends on how cold, warm or hot your audience is and whether you are in a launch for one-to-one or not just now, okay? So let's just even let's map out like a week's worth of content, 5 days of content, selling your one-to-one, okay? I want you to look at bringing in a client story post. Make sure within this 5 days of content, you're bringing in a client story post where you actually explain, where was this client before? How were they feeling? What were they experiencing? What had they tried before? Why was that not working for them? What did you do differently together? What results have they got now because of your work together? What does their life look like now? Really paint these pictures. Okay? I want you to make sure you're pitching it on your stories so you can sell in your content, but make sure you're also selling in your stories. Make sure you're selling in your emails. Maybe you want to go live and you want to share your one-to-one on a live. But make sure that you're not doing the bare minimum. So many people show up and it's actually from fear. You're scared that if you share it too much and nobody joins, that you're going to feel judged or you're going to judge yourself. I done all that work and it didn't work. Again, it's not about it working. This isn't what one-to-one is. Selling your one-to-one is not actually about selling your one-to-one. Selling one-to-one is going and changing people's lives, getting paid for that. And when you change people's lives and when you commit to this is your mission, your one-to-one starts to sell itself. But so many people are like, I need to sell one-to-one because I need a income, cash injection. That's not the energy. The energy is service. The energy is transformation. The energy is an energy exchange between you and them that changes, ripples for generations to come. Okay, decide that it is done. Decide it is done and then show up from that place. Because you need to show up as the leader whether someone buys or not. You have to show up like it is already done, but also if it doesn't happen today or even in a week's time or even in 2 weeks' time, that you're going to continue to show up and continue to refine and continue to call forward the people who are ready to be in your world. Because that is actually your job. Your job is not to try and guess when someone will buy or try and force someone to buy. Your job is to be in your power and powerfully open an invitation so when they are in their power and they are ready, you guys can come together and co-create. That is what one-to-one spaces are about. Your one-to-one is life-changing, and when you sell from that place, they feel it with conviction, with your energy, with your certainty. Go get yourself so excited about your one-to-one offer. Decide who is the perfect person for it and then go and speak to them and only them in your messaging for your one-to-one.